This is for the person who's been told they're too intense, too ambitious, too spiritual, too serious, too focused. You've heard, you've changed. Why do you always have to go so hard? Just chill. You're doing too much. And at some point, you believed it. So now you're second-guessing your voice, shrinking your goals, downplaying your faith, diluting your purpose, all because someone else couldn't handle your standards. Today, that ends. Because what you've been calling too much is exactly what God called necessary. Let's talk about it. You're not burned out because you're doing too much. You're burned out because you're doing less than you're built for. You've been dimming your light so others don't feel insecure. You've been biting your tongue so people don't call you extra. You've been lowering your standards so you don't lose connections. And now you're losing yourself. Let's be real. We live in a culture that claps for mediocrity and mocks conviction. People love the easy version of you, the agreeable version, the chill version, the version that lets them stay average and unchallenged. But the moment you start raising your standards, you become a mirror. You reflect what they've been ignoring in themselves. And instead of growing with you, they guilt you into shrinking. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. You were never meant to fit. You were meant to stand out and stand firm. You don't have to apologize for dreaming big, speaking boldly, living with purpose, refusing toxicity, choosing discipline, walking in holiness, being about your business, saying no to what doesn't align. That's not arrogance. That's not too much. That's called being anointed. And the moment you stop apologizing for your standards, you start attracting what aligns with your destiny. When you stop watering yourself down, you regain your confidence. You clarify your calling. You lose the wrong crowd. You attract the right circle. You find peace in who you are without apology. Most of all, you stop feeling fragmented. No more switching personalities to keep people comfortable. You become the same person in every room. Whole, free, focused. What if you're not too loud, too intense, too driven, too spiritual? What if you're just surrounded by people who don't know how to carry your level? What if your voice was never meant to be silenced, but amplified? That's what we're about to unpack. Why shrinking doesn't save relationships. It kills identity. How to stop making your purpose palatable. Why your standards are spiritual protection. How to walk bold without being bitter. How to lose guilt and reclaim your fire. Let's get into it. Let's walk through the pattern. It starts with pressure, subtle or loud. You're doing too much. You think you're better than us? You don't need all that faith stuff. Just relax a little. You're different now. At first, you brush it off. But then it comes again. And again. Until you start to ask, maybe I am doing too much. Maybe I should tone it down. Maybe I'm the problem. So you shrink. You hide your win. You downplay your faith. You say yes when you mean no. You start showing up as half of who you are, just to keep relationships alive. But here's the truth. Anything you have to shrink for is too small to hold your purpose. Let's correct something. Shrinking is not the same as humility. Humility says, it's not about me. Shrinking says, maybe I'm not enough. Humility serves others. Shrinking surrenders your identity. God didn't call you to disappear. He called you to show up in full authority, clothed in love, rooted in truth, clear in purpose. Matthew 5:14, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. You were never meant to hide. You were meant to shine. Some people make you feel like your standards are the issue. But let me say this plainly. Your standards are not the problem. Their inconsistency is, you want discipline. That's not judgment, that's direction. You want peace. That's not avoidance, that's wisdom. You want focus. That's not control, that's protection. People who want to grow will be grateful for your standards. People who want to stay stuck will be offended by them. Let them choose their response. But don't you dare lower your standard to keep the peace. Because what you allow will always become your atmosphere. Let's lock in some accountability. If you're done apologizing for your standards, drop this in the comments right now. I am not too much. I'm called. Say it with power. Say it like your future depends on it, because it does. Hit, like if this message is calling you higher. Subscribe if you're ready to walk out every day with purpose. Share this with someone who's been questioning their identity. They need this. So how do you stop shrinking and start walking in who you're really called to be? Let's break it down. Step 1, reclaim your voice. Start speaking like someone who knows they're called. Stop watering down your words to keep the peace. Start declaring truth, even when it makes people uncomfortable. Speak life over your goals, over your values, over your future. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. And for too long, your silence has been agreeing with mediocrity. It's time to break that agreement. Speak like someone who belongs in the room, because you do. Step 2, reinforce your standards. Make your standards clear, non-negotiable, and visible. Write them down. What will you no longer tolerate? Where do you need to draw the line again? What boundaries have gotten blurry? This isn't about making demands. It's about protecting your focus. What you tolerate, you train. What you allow, you invite. What you reinforce, you build. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your standards. Raise them. Step 3, refuse to shrink for anyone. When someone calls you too much, hear this clearly. That's not your cue to shrink. It's your cue to shine. You're not too much. You're too aware. You're not too bold. You're just done playing small. You're not intimidating. You're just fully awake. The version of you that shrinks might keep the crowd. But the version of you that stands will walk in calling. Choose the version that's aligned with heaven, not just applause. Step 4, surround yourself with standards. You can't walk strong if everyone around you is crawling. You need people who call you out without tearing you down. And celebrate your convictions, not mock them. Protect your standards, not pull you from them. Stop expecting fruit from barren trees. Build a circle that reflects where you're going, not where you used to be. Iron sharpens iron, Proverbs 27:17. But some of us are surrounded by rubber. People who bend when it's time to sharpen. You're not hard to love, you're just hard to manipulate. And that's a good thing. Step 5, reaffirm your identity in God. at the root of shrinking is forgetfulness. You forgot who called you. You forgot who approved you. You forgot who placed that fire in you. So here's the truth. You are not arrogant. You are assigned. You are not too intense. You are intentional. You are not too much. You are marked by God. Isaiah 41:10. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. You don't need their validation when you have heaven's confirmation. Sometimes your mind forgets what your mouth has to remind it of. Say these out loud. Write them down. Declare them daily. I am not too much. I am chosen. I don't have to shrink to be accepted. I set standards because I am called to something higher. I am allowed to grow. I am allowed to change. I am allowed to protect my peace. I do not belong to public opinion. I belong to God's purpose. My boldness is not rebellion. It's alignment. I show up in every space as the full version of who God created me to be. And I will not apologize for walking in calling. If these hit your spirit, you're on the right track. Let's be real one last time. Some people only liked the version of you that tolerated nonsense. Some only clapped when you were quiet. Some only stayed close when you stayed small. But this is the season of bold realignment. You're done explaining yourself. You're done apologizing for having vision. You're done accepting crumbs when you were called to feed nations. You're not too much. You're just finally becoming the version of yourself God intended all along. So stop shrinking. Stop second-guessing. Stop looking for permission to walk tall. The people who matter will adjust. The ones who won't were never part of your mission. If this word unlocked something in you, drop this in the comments right now. I'm done shrinking. I'm walking in full purpose. Then go walk it out. Don't just say it. Live it. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. This journey is daily and you need every piece like the video. Let others know this resonated. Share it with someone who's been shrinking and doesn't know they have permission to rise.